Hello, it's basically midnight on Thursday evening on the Clore Leadership Pulse course. It's a bit of a late recording for this video. We've been in the bar letting our hair down this evening. One of the participants on the course this week, it's her birthday today, so we were having a bit of a celebration, but also it's been a bit of a full-on and intense emotional day today. So I think for a lot of people it's been a case of just going, yeah, let's pop the cork and have a bit of an unwind and give ourselves that reward. So yeah, it's one of the interesting things about doing Pulse is a lot of people who have spoken to on the course. Like I've spoken to some people and other people who've spoken to people who've done Clore courses and said, you will cry. And today is a day where you go, yeah, I understand why people say you will cry when doing Clore, because it really digs itself into you, and it really gets you thinking and reflecting and tapping into something that is quite raw and quite honest and quite truthful. So yeah, I've had a couple of moments today where I've been like totes emotion, like really kind of like I think a lot of kind of emotions are bubbling under the surface at the moment, and it was like they just kind of bubbled up and broke through a little bit, and that's been a fascinating experience. Everyone's really honest with each other and really open, which is a massive benefit to the course, and is really like a bit of a kind of privilege for people to be doing that with each other. It's kind of surprising, but it shows how much people are committing to it. So that's really powerful and really moving. But we've been able to also, like, it's a weird breakthrough moment where we actually had a really nice evening of just kind of chatting and really being really relaxed with each other, because we've smashed through that point of going, yeah, okay, we trust each other and we are going to let shit go and really open up. So we had a bit of homework last night, which was to do a timeline of things that have shaped us, moments in our lives that have shaped us. Writing that out is quite a weird experience, because for me, certainly, I was listing stuff, and it's positive and negative, but it was just a list of items that I was putting down, and I recognized the good and bad, and writing it out was fine because it's happened, it's in the past. But when you get to the point of having to talk to somebody about it, so we worked in like groups of 3 or 4 and talked to each other about it. When you talk to people about it, suddenly verbalizing it brings a bit of emotion to the surface. It's a bit like when people, like, there's a thing about doing therapy of actually verbalizing a lot of stuff that you tend to keep inside is a really powerful thing, because it suddenly makes it true. And this was like, it's not about not being true, but just that verbalizing action made you quite active in that moment, in that memory, and it was quite challenging at points. And there was certainly a sense that exercise of opening up and revealing things about ourselves to each other was really impactful. So that kind of set the tone for the day. We did a few other exercises which were predominantly in smaller groups, but looked a lot at kind of self-reflection, and the whole concept and the whole kind of theme around this day and the kind of homework from last night is about authentic leadership. So it's a bit about authenticity. It's about authenticity with other people, but also authenticity, with yourself. Being honest with yourself about a multitude of things, and being able to be honest with other people about it. And it's a really informative and educational thing. So it's a bit like therapy in that regards. But yeah, so we had various conversations. The facilitation was basically giving us a nudge and us having the momentum to carry things forward. So in a way, like, we were the people who were running the day to day. It wasn't people facilitating who ran it for us. We were just given the space to run things and hold things, which is an interesting kind of style. And it's very risky, because there is a danger of actually putting people in an emotional space and not having appropriate safeguarding in place for people who might get a bit emotional, and it might trigger certain reactions. So there's a bit of a concern I have about the actual way you frame this kind of activity. What's really good though is, as a group, we seem to be really open and honest with each other and trust each other already after like 4 days, which says a lot to how the course has been framed up to this point, and how we've been encouraged to be like that. But yeah, so we did activities that were looking at authentic leadership and like what it means to us, but again, just really kind of digging into us and our values and our beliefs, and it's like that kind of capping moment of, you know, it's like a bit of a tipping point, I guess, in terms of everything else that's come in it's a whole week of us looking at ourselves, and there doesn't seem to be anybody who's narcissistic on the course. It seems like a lot of people are incredibly generous and incredibly outward looking, and then being forced in a way to be introspective and look at yourself. And it's very unnatural to give that much time to looking inwards. And yeah, the dam broke for in a couple of instances today, and it's really gratifying to be able to be there for that moment, and there's a generosity and a trust that comes with that. So that's really powerful, and also like it really helps you think about what's important to you, what values you have, what values you hold dear, and how that impacts on your style of leadership. So yeah, a really kind of big breakthrough moment. So I had reservations about the day itself, and there's still some issues that I'm kind of holding a bit about how it played out in terms of its framing, but the results from it, which I still believe are because of the group of people who are on the course. It's about what they give to it. Like the results are kind of crazy. Like the what's coming out of it is amazing, and how it's moved a lot of what I've been thinking and feeling. I felt a certain shift in my where I am in a kind of in my mind at the moment, in terms of where my head's been at and where it is at now, and that's really, it was a really obvious shift, which was really kind of interesting moment to have. And going, I clocked it. I was like, I am in a completely different place now. Like it was between kind of morning session and after lunch, and I was like, yeah, suddenly there's a little space that I've had, and I'm in a completely different place. And yeah, that was a bit of a shock. But it's good that I acknowledged it, because you were looking inwards for that stuff, and that's really good. That's really valuable to be able to look in and go, yeah, I can acknowledge that and notice that about myself, rather than just being in a phase of doing and being on a treadmill and not stopping and going, hang on a second, what's going on with me? So that's really useful. But also then what was really nice was the fact that after that whole day that was quite full on and quite intense, again, like walls have been broken down a little bit, and people have just got through a particularly heavy thing and just wanted the ability just to connect with people and chat, and we've had some really kind of lovely conversations and interactions, and be they deep or be they shallow, be it about the question of whether or not rounders is a real sport. It's a real sport, Radhi. It's a real sport. You know, it was a really nice kind of moment, and the fact that we now get to come back and do 2 more residentials and have all these conversations in the middle is really nice, that we're now through that point. So yeah, so this is like one of those things. It's a transformational experience. It is a transformational experience doing Clore, and I'm too close to it at the moment to really unpick it fully, but I can recognize that and I can tell. And I mean, one thing I say is I'm so looking forward to the weekend and just doing kind of nothing and decompressing my brain. But after that point, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm going to be in a different place. And like watching back these videos is going to be fascinating once I'm a bit distance from it. So I'll be like, wow, that's different. And reading back my notes, my scribbly notes will be great. But I know I'll do it because I feel like there's a need to. But yeah, it is like a bit of transformational experience, and you have to do it. You know, listening to me rambling on, you know, in my naturally kind of stream of consciousness way, you know, which is 100 times worse after I had a couple of beers tonight, you know, and had really weird conversations. Like, you have to do this kind of thing, and whether it's Clore or whether it's just actually in your own life, just having the ability to be honest and open with people, and not lead things, and just give other people space so the conversation happens naturally. Like you gotta, you know, there's a real value to doing it. So you know, think about that for yourself, and think about, in terms of leadership, okay, what space do you hold, what space can you create, what space do you need? Like just bear that in mind. But yeah, like it's a really transformational experience. It really is. That's the kind of thing that it gets said a lot, but yeah, it really is. And today was a big kind of complex day with a load of stuff going on, but I'm glad to be here. I'm really privileged to be here and meet such a group of amazing people. but yes, makes it slightly frustrating now that I now have to spend time before going to bed packing my suitcase, but to check out first thing tomorrow morning. Because the other option is I get up really early. We have to check out before the first session, so I don't want to get up really early tomorrow morning. I want to have a bit more time in bed. So I'm just going to check everything in a suitcase tonight, because now onto the practical logistical stuff about being a person and having responsibilities and life and whatnot. So I'm going to have to pack my suitcase now, which is a bit boring, but it's a complete opposite end of the spectrum to everything that's been going on. That's a very lazy act rather than being really engaged in something, so it might be good. But yeah, so half a day left of Clore, part 1 of Clore Leadership Pulse, which will be tomorrow. Then the challenge of trying to get home when trains are all over the place and messed up, because trains in the UK, good work, train companies and National Rail in terms of the infrastructure. Thanks for that. But yeah, it's mad how much has been going on this week. It's insane how much we've been given to take in. It's crazy to think that we're all just still alive and standing, because Jesus, like, this is like doing 10 years of school in 5 days. It feels like there's so much, and it feels so personalized. But yeah, it's been awesome, and I'm really grateful to be here, but I'm also delirious because of the tiredness, mentally, emotionally, physically. So yeah, bring on the weekend when I can just sit around in my dressing gown and play my PlayStation, because that's going to be exactly what I need after this. But yeah, so that is Thursday on Clore. That is more rambling, incoherent nonsense from me that maybe you can pick something out of, or I will look back on and pick something out of. But yeah, it's now time for me to pack my suitcase. So I will let you know how the Friday goes. But for now, good night and goodbye.